Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Displaying-Model-Behaviour, the Earth's mightiest video podcast. So take off your pants,
crack a beer,
and let's talk about the only news that you need to know about.
and that's good news.
There's a lot of news out there to talk about.
Let's get started.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Hello gang, and welcome to Displaying Model Behaviour. We don't have a studio anymore, nor do we have a nicely decorated bunker. But I'll tell you what I do have. Oh yeah, my little fat princess is here for the whole week. Little Piglet is going to be joining me for Displaying Model Behaviour. To be fair, she's not going to be doing very much, but she will be looking adorable while I tell you all about the news. What news is that? Well, I'm going to tell you all about it right now. So right this very second, hot off the press, Mezco have put up their Nightcrawler for pre-order. The amazing Nightcrawler, mein Gott! It's a really pretty looking version of Kurt Wagner. In fact, I dare say dollars to donuts, and if I'm lying, I'm dying. This is the best Nightcrawler that's ever been made. I mean, don't get me wrong, different people, different opinions. It's very subjective. But having said that, if you disagree with me on this, you're probably gonna have to make peace with being wrong. Because this does look real nice. Is it real expensive? Oh, did I say mein Gott? Because yeah, it's $116, which is the going rate for Mezco figures. They haven't jacked up the price any more than already has been. And you don't get an insane amount of stuff, but you do get a whole bunch of very nice, animated, diverse-looking heads. That's great. That's what you need. I mean, you're paying north of $100. You're darn right that's what you need. But then also with the different hands, that's cool. I love the curly little piglet tail that you can put one of his swords into. That's a really nice touch as well. Then throw in the light up Bamf effect. I really want it. I'm not going to lie. I really, really want it because my collection, my display, I was always saying, I want to get the best version of the X-Men, whether it's Legends, Mafex, Revoltech, Figure Arts, Mezco, whoever makes the best version of a character, that's the one I want. And even though Mafex came out pretty hard, that sounds weird, but you know what I mean. Yes, they came out hard with their version of Nightcrawler. I think this Mezco one looks fantastic. So yeah, I would personally be very tempted. The hits keep on coming in 1/12 scale. This time, though, it's Mondo giving us their man-at-arms from their Masters of the Universe line. And, bejesus, Pamir, bejoseph, could you give my wallet a poor chance? These look so beautiful, so beautiful. A similar price range to our friends over at Mezco, but a very different style and aesthetic as well. Out are the soft goods and the light up functions, but in are so many beautiful, wonderful, awesome, wicked looking accessories and the wonderful kind of animated style, but not animated style, more like a comic booky kind of style, but obviously based off the animated source material. I love it. I really love it. This is tough. This is real tough because I really like this. But I mean, come on, they've made Skeletor, He-Man, and Clawful as well. So if you got one, you just want to get the others, and it would be a slippery slope. I also love the reptile snake face he's got as well. I don't know when that happens, but it looks very G.I. Joe. It's like, I was once a man at arms. So yeah, another banger from Mondo. I say another. They're just starting their Motu 1/12 line, but so far the 4 have been all killer, no filler. And speaking of Motu, we're going to go over to Mattel now. Had to try and rack my brains there for a second. Mattel have given their full reveal images for their Masters of the Universe movie figures. We had some blurry convention pictures shared a few days ago. Now we got the real deal. And they look fine. I think they look good. I'm trying not to be like just Johnny happy all the time, because don't get me wrong, I like being Johnny happy all the time. He's a happy guy, but try to give a little bit of nuance to what I'm talking about as well, being the, artistic journalist that I am. these look okay. Some look definitely better than others, though. Prince Adam, He-Man, he actually looks pretty great. And also the general articulation and the way the figures are put together, that looks in line with decent, modern, mid-range figures. No problem there. Also, Battle Cat, I think, looks really cool, although maybe could have used a bit more of a wash on his fur, make him look a little less plasticky. Man-at-Arms, that Idris Elba face sculpt, not too sure about that. Again, the paintwork in some of these photos looks a little cheap. Teela, I think, looks okay, though. She's kind of cool. Skeletor, it's very hard to get that wrong. Just a bright blue jacked up dude with a skull face. That's always going to look badass. The highlight is Trapjaw, though. Man, I love the fact that they're going so accurate to the source material. This is just perfect. This is Trapjaw. Absolutely brilliant. However, Evelyn, I think they did that actress dirty. She's a good looking lady. This figure, not so much. Swing and a miss there, guys. And then Triclops, yeah. He looks pretty cool, actually, with his big army rifle. So far, for this first lineup for the characters, I know there are going to be more. So I'm interested to see what's going to come next. But so far, it's like, yep, perfectly acceptable. I'd say B+ type figures for your mid-range price point. And speaking of movie figures, this was a big surprise. Not going to linger on this because I've just got the info. Hasbro is going to be making the figures for the Street Fighter movie, which is a real surprise. Obviously, Jada have been crushing it with their video game figures, so have Storm Arena. I wouldn't have thought Storm Arena would have done movie figures. I'm not saying they've never done that. I'm sure someone can tell me they have. I just can't remember off the top of my head. But I thought maybe Mattel, but no. We're getting Hasbro, going back to the old days of Hasbro doing Street Fighter figures. I'm really hoping this isn't just going to be the movie. Maybe we could actually get some new versions of the mashup characters, which is funny because we just had Street Fighter and WWE mashups from Mattel. You know what? Mash everything up. Throw it all together. So there's no more information besides the fact that we have this partnership. But it's another thing that we can get excited about. And honestly, I think there's a lot of stuff to get excited about this year. If we take one important lesson from 2025, it's that being kind is punk rock. And Mondo, they believe making badass action figures is probably also punk rock. Quite expensive ones, but if you like this animated style, well, there's no better Superman that you can get. 1/6 scale though, not the good Lord scale. Blasphemy! Blast for you, blast for everybody. But if you want your Hot Toys type size, 1/6 scale Superman, he does sure come with a whole bunch of stuff. I love the Lois scooped up in his arms because it's not easy to recreate that look. Because let's face it, we do not have many Lois Lane action figures. In fact, when I was doing my list of 100 essential DC characters, the only Lois Lane that I could really use was the animated one. And now we got two, but she does look great scooped up in his arms. You get a, is that Mr. Mixelplix or is that someone else he's with? I really should have done my due diligence. My ignorance is showing. But if you're a fan of the 90s Adventures of Superman cartoon, this is a lovely tribute to have. And of course, they're doing all their Batman adventure ones as well. So if you're already collecting that line, boom, put them together. You got the world's finest action figure display. NECA are giving us the Shock Commando Triceratons. First of all, I love me my anthropomorphic dinosaurs. And I'm a huge fan of the Triceratons. I loved the animated ones back when I was collecting the NECA animated turtles and then doing them in the Mirage style. Chef's kiss. What is chef's kiss in French? I need to find that out. Nope, not even going to try that. But it's kind of funny seeing them in these spacesuits because I always feel like that's kind of a hat on a hat. It's like you're already a dinosaur man. Now you're a dinosaur man in a spacesuit? Yeah, go on. But I've said before, and I'll stand by this, there's just something I love, an aesthetic kind of thing about seeing a thing in a thing, like a creature's face inside of a mask with like see-through. It's just cool. It makes a figure look like more than what it might have otherwise been. So I kind of love this. And hey, I hope you love it too, because by the looks of these pictures, they really want you to buy 4 of them. But look, in for a penny, in for a pound. Am I right? These are up for pre-order now. 2026 might just be the year of INART Studios, or maybe Gong Studios. All these different companies are kicking down the front door. And honestly, I think putting companies like Mafex and Figure Arts kind of in their place. At least they're slapping down their goods on the table and being like, how do you like that, huh? How do you like me now? Well, we've got this Red Death Batman, and we had previews for this a while ago. Now we've got the full Megillah, the full shebang, and we know that we're going to be getting more of the Dark Knight's metal characters as well. Honestly, aesthetically, I think that the Red Death Batman is not a particularly exciting looking character. You know, he's just as kind of an armored looking Flash. Doesn't mean he doesn't look cool. It's just with all the red, like there's not too much going on. But what we do know is going on is the quality of the INART type figure, because unless there's some kind of magical drop off from what they were doing before, you know, the quality slaps. So if you want to put together a rather expensive but probably very cool looking Batman Dark Knight's metal display, you're going to want to pick this guy up, and hopefully all the other ones that will be coming out, fingers crossed, pretty darn soon. Oh, Susu Toys, you are skirting the boundaries, baby. You are skirting the boundaries of legality with your X-Men. Did I say X-Men? Shh, do you want to get sued? Let's call them alphabet people figures, because this might look to your untrained eyes like Laura Kinney, X-23. No, sorry, son. Well, Stone Cold. It's Bloodline. Okay, fine. You know what? Rose, by any other name, still has retractable blades in their hands and feet. Looks pretty cool. I'm not a huge fan of the Wolverine-style costume on X-23. I prefer her kind of like being more her own character. And it's a bit of a shame there's no unmasked Laura Kinney head. I would have loved to have had a comic version of X-23 without the mask as well. Had the cowl down, like, you know, some rah type faces. Those would have been good. All that having been said, though, I do love that there's a third-party 1/6 scale product maker, manufacturer. That's what I was looking for. I love that they're out there, and I love that they're doing fun-looking stuff. Don't know what the articulation's going to be like, but what I do know is they got a whole bunch of these coming out or coming to be revealed very, very soon. So more and a few more of these in the next episode. Kotobukiya, one of my favorite names to say. It's just satisfying. They're giving us Sigma from Mega Man X. I haven't played Mega Man X. Those Mega Man games are brutal. And I'm already punishing myself on Hollow Knight 2. But this is a really fun-looking, cartoony, animated-looking character. I just love it when action figures look like they've been just plucked straight off the screen. That's what this guy looks like. And Kotobukiya, they've already put my teeth in. I'm not going to redo that. It's late at night. I'm so tired. I just got back from Jamaica this morning. yeah, get sympathy. I know. Oh, really, Dave? Oh, did you get back from Jamaica? Oh, how hard for you. But yeah, I like the look of this guy. If you like the look of this guy too, then you know what you got to do. Check out the little link. You know I've got a link for you. You know where to go pre-order it. Go do that. Got a little weird there at the end. Hong Kong police special duties. Yes, I said duties. This is interesting. All right, like I don't know these military characters. They're not characters. They're military recreations, real world type stuff. But I kind of did a little bit of digging and investigating. Again, if you want to do the same, I'll put the link in the description for these guys. And it's so fascinating to look at all the comments, and you realize what a huge subgenre, subculture of collecting these things are. People talking and discussing the figures in the nitty-gritty, itty-bitty details. And I'm like, wow, I wouldn't even know where to begin discussing these. They're talking about like, oh, the articulation in the feet of these ones are going to be better than the previous version. And I love how deep the action figure rabbit hole goes. I can't keep up myself with everything, but I do love the amount of detail on these. I mean, just look at the itty bitty work. The craftsmanship on these soft goods, really amazing. So hats off, folks. Those are some pretty amazing looking Hong Kong police. Metytoyz now have up for pre-order, I think over at 5K Toys. Once again, I'll throw in the description for you. But what's his name? Senjin. What's his full name? Adventurer's World Troll Hunter. All right, if trolls weren't badass enough, this dude hunts the trolls, and he looks like he'd make light work of it as well. I freaking love Metytoyz because they're just so big. They're just size matters, man. And then when you take the size and you throw on amazing articulation, they've got the kind of the rubbery sort of body, so there's lots of movement available. Such expressive, fun faces too. Everything. I love everything about these guys. I assume, as many of their designs are, this is World of Warcraft based. Again, help me out, World of Warcraft players. I'm assuming that this dude's popped up in the game at some point, probably under a completely different name. But a troll hunter by any other name would still look pretty badass. So you can go over to 5K Toys, put your money. And finally, for today's news, I'm sorry it's a little bit of a stripped down episode, but I just want to get a little something out there and onto your YouTube front pages, because we got to keep that algorithm rolling. Am I right or am I right? I hope you enjoyed this. We got some render reveals from Hasbro for their G.I. Joes. So only the pretty pictures to go on, but man, I love the fact that they are obviously, of course, getting more and more obscure with their characters. And the less I know the characters, the more I love them, because they're getting so weird. I think that's awesome. Don't you, Piggy? Look, I think I'm getting so animated. She's like, what's going on? Hey, what am I talking about? I know. Don't worry. We're going to come and cuddle. She's like, I have been sat on this bed waiting for a cuddle for the last half an hour, Dave. Don't worry. I'm coming. So, yeah, render reveals. I actually have the names here as well. Sorry, I was getting totally discombobulated there. Little pig little do that. So we've got a Ninja Force Zartan, all right? Then also there's Airtight. There's a Hydro Viper, Cobra Overkill. Then there's this silhouette of a cowboy-looking dude. Looks kind of like Brave Star. I don't think it's Brave Star, but there you go. And then also there's Red Dog and Taurus 2-pack. And then finally, Zanya with Dreadnought Chameleon. And again, the weirder and wackier they get, the more time I got for them. And folks, that does it for Good News for today. Thank you so much for watching this kind of stripped down, weird and wonderful episode. Once I'm in Hong Kong, I'm going to be in Hong Kong by the end of the month. And then we can start to get more of a regular kind of production line going. Plus, we're going to be doing those constant live streams. I can't wait to actually just be talking shop with you guys again. So we're looking forward to that. And thank you for bearing with me during this transitionary period. If you want to support me, then give me one of those. I'd be so grateful. So thank you so much for that. And until next time, keep displaying model behavior.